Hello everyone, welcome to our lesson where we'll provide a complete video explanation. First, let's take a look at the character in our video. Let's observe some characteristics of his body proportions. When drawing, we first find form using the Loomis method. First, identify the character's basic framework. Before drawing, let's observe the character's facial features. For a longer face shape, first draw a circle to establish the face's midline. Determine the character's facial features. The face is elongated. The angle is slightly tilted. Find the contour lines in ear position. Establish the central cross lines. Identify the character's three-section proportions. This character has strong three-section characteristics. First, his middle section to lower section ratio. The middle section is longer, so when sculpting relative to the expression, reserve the middle section position, which is the nose position. Make it slightly elongated. The eyes are characteristically wide. His eyes are very broad. The position of the eye bags is particularly distinct. The inverted trapezoid shape of the entire nose bridge gives a very clear impression. This character's inverted trapezoid nose bridge plus the entire nose tip and the regular trapezoid of the nostrils creates a strong contrast. So when modeling, we express this trapezoid feeling clearly. For his eye characteristics, first, they're large. Second, they're wide. Third, they have many layers, double eyelids, drooping corners. These layers are particularly clear. His eyes are very heavy. The nose tip is rounded, upper lip thin, lower lip thick. These are all his basic characteristics. Both mouth corners turn slightly upward, left corner lower, right corner higher. So before drawing, we need to analyze the character's features. When drawing, try to express the character's features clearly. This way, when drawing people, no matter what method you use, you can express them more clearly, more authentically. His hairstyle tends toward an irregular, shaggy look. So when we outline his hair, we use looser lines, not so regular. But while irregular, he has a strong body shape feature. We'll enhance this major shape feature later. This way, we create a clear character design. After that, we use a plastic eraser on the character's lines. We complete this step by cleaning up the lines. After erasing the lines, we use a pencil to draw throughout. Like most of my works, I use an HB pencil. Sometimes I'll use 2H for drafting, sometimes F for details, but mostly just HB works fine. First, when adding depth, we work around the facial features, eyes, nose, mouth, and expand outward. My personal habit is to start with the eyes, then work outward. When drawing the eyes, first express their intensity. The color around the eyes should be strong. Make the areas that need to be heavy enough since the character's skin tone is already dark, plus his eyeballs give a somewhat ancient full impression. So when drawing, make the colors around both eyes strong enough. When carving the face, consider the direction of each set of lines. The face structure has directional distinctions. Each stroke represents the shape of a color block. So when sketching a character, either follow the facial structure or drawing this way makes the character look flat, so sometimes we need to force ourselves to draw against the facial structure. It's essential to draw according to the shape. After finishing the eyes, consider the nose. This character is very heavy. The dark parts should be pressed heavily, and the transitions should be rich. This character's nose has strong features, very fleshy with a strong resemblance to the original. Additionally, since our subject is older, the nasolabial folds on both sides of the nose. The nasolabial groove area should be very clear and quite hard. That's due to his inherent coloring. Due to color emphasis, most of the face area leans toward the upper tone. Leave local highlights to enhance the skin texture and shine in the portrait. After we lay down the colors, we'll use some blending tools. The purpose of blending is to make the colors and skin texture clearer and more refined. This increases realism. Let's refine the nose area by shading both sides of the nostrils. What should you consider when drawing a nose? The nasal wing should be darker, while the tip should be lighter. Two gray areas framing one light area creates volume and makes the nose stand out clearly. This concretizes the facial feature details. Why do we draw facial features first when creating portraits? Because we put more effort into facial features, drawing them more carefully and meticulously. This way, we concentrate all our energy on the facial features. People get tired, and after drawing the features, energy diminishes. So draw the features first accurately. The surrounding areas matter less. When drawing people, if the eyes, nose, mouth, and face shape are right, you've completed 70 to 80% of the portrait. Now, as we draw the eyes, we're looking for the layering and transitions. Whether sketching or drawing, we're focusing on the color gradations. With each set of colors and lines, consider both form changes and variations in intensity. These are the two main considerations. Many beginners just copy photos directly. Black areas become black, bright areas stay bright. They don't consider the structural form within the face. So what's drawn might give people a feeling that it's softer, messier, or rougher, unlike the skin texture of a real person. At its core, the reason is you haven't sculpted facial lines based on internal structure, including direction and layering. When drawing the mouth, lips have a bulging feel, so the lower lip is darker on sides, brighter in middle. Consider this volume. For the upper lip, in photos, 70 to 80% of light sources emphasize the upper lip, while the lower lip appears brighter as most lighting comes from above. Now let's use this blending tool to smooth out the facial colors, making the skin texture clearer, more refined, and smoother. But the previous coloring step is most crucial. It determines if relationships are correct. If they are, the blending will work properly. If relationships aren't right, what you blend will look chaotic. After finishing the face, we can move on to depicting the hair and clothing. We typically use pens to create texture distinctions. What does texture distinction mean? For facial areas, I draw more delicately, but for surrounding areas, I distinguish textures using rougher lines in the composition. This way, your drawing clearly differentiates between face, clothing, and hair textures. When character textures are well distinguished, the artwork becomes more appealing and comfortable to view rather than jarring. Well, that's our lesson video for today. If you enjoyed it, please like, follow, and save. Thanks for watching. See you next time.